The Quiz On podcast is brought to you by the Flamingo Fund, supporting LGBTQ+ projects, organisations and initiatives. To find out more, head to flamingoscoffeehouse.co.uk/the Flamingo Fund.
Hello and welcome back to the Quiz On podcast with me, Alex Mitchell.
And me, Hollie Noble.
This week we're joined by another fantastic comedian. He's here to talk about Doctor Who. Please welcome James Earl Marsters.
Woo-hoo!
Hello.
Thanks for coming on the pod, James. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. It's so exciting.
I'm glad you're excited.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're excited. That's great. I love it when we get an excited guest. When we start the podcast, we open with two questions. One comes from me, and that is, we're in the studio right now. What would be the ideal drink for you to have right now that we could, if we could serve up any drink in the world to you right now, what would be your choice?
My usual typical is a very hazy IPA.
Nice.
Okay. Is there a
Hazy
particular
the better.
brand?
Respect
Is there a
that.
particular one you, or do you go about and are you not brand loyal? Do you like see what's
Not
about?
at all.
Yeah,
Not at
good.
all.
That's good. I like that.
I just like to try and have something I've never had before. That's
Okay.
like
That's
what
a
I
nice
was
way
trying
to do it.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about a Brewdog?
Yeah. I mean,
That's a great noise. That's
Yeah.
that's the noise we want for Brewdog.
I think
Fuck those guys.
Yeah.
I think they've forgotten why they exist.
Yeah, that's
Do you know
a good
what I mean?
point.
Like, they're not punk, are they? They're not punk.
No.
They're not punk if you're on every
No.
high street and then.
Yeah.
But the problem is now they're closing the bars down because no one wants to go to them.
Yeah.
So the only one left in Yorkshire now is in Hull.
Brewdog's like a gateway drug to craft beer, I think.
It is, yeah.
A gateway drug. to
Yeah.
craft beer. Wow.
It is.
Okay. I feel like there are some cafes like IPAs, I guess, don't quite lean into it, but there are some like craft beers where it's like, I genuinely just think it gets to a point where it's so pretentious. It's like people
Yeah.
who are really into coffee.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what
yeah.
I mean?
I'm also very into coffee.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Sorry, because Alex has been talking about Vietnamese coffee that he loves.
So I found a really
Very
nice
recently.
coffee that I was drinking because I've been like caffeine. I try not to touch caffeine at all, and then in the last 3 months I found this Vietnamese coffee that I'm like, this is insane. Like it's the only coffee I've ever drunk. And I really like.
Now his mum's banned him from
And I'm 24 years old and my mum is rationing my coffee and she's like, come 4 o'clock you are, and this is a quote, unbearable. So that's where we're at. So that's where that is. But I do think so. And also like, sometimes I just think people, the same with coffee, I think people are drinking it and pretending to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Just because they think it makes them look great.
But I like my beer to taste like beer and I like my coffee to taste like coffee.
Okay.
Like,
Do
you know what I mean?
I'm
Like,
fine with that. That's
I-
alright.
That sounded a bit reformy, did that? Make Britain beer again!
But what I mean by that is that like, I like the taste of beer. Like, and I don't need it to taste like, I don't know, matcha.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
There's a whole thing about matcha at the minute as well, where like,
Fuck off looking over there at my matcha.
No. It's like it's a whole thing of like it's genuinely like quite a lot of Japanese people have said like in our coffee shops we're using pretty high grade good matcha.
Yeah.
And they're like in Japan like that's reserved for like the most special of special ceremonial occasions.
Wow.
And we're taking that off them and glugging that shit.
I didn't know that.
Well, this is something that, again, like don't come at me. I don't know how factually correct this is, but I know a few people have been saying it.
Oh.
And there are some people who are pretty pissed off with our intake of matcha in this country.
Oh shit.
I've never had it.
No, neither have I. I don't necessarily get it. I don't trust the colour. I also
Right.
I don't like yellow.
Also
things.
reform.
Well, I also think
Like-
it's like a
Like what? Yellow?
Yeah, like
It's green.
No, but like I also have a thing about.
Oh,
Do
okay,
you know
right,
what I
side
mean?
note,
I don't
yeah.
Like, sorry, yeah, tangent.
You don't like
I
yellow
don't like
thing?
sweet corn. I don't like lemons. Like.
Because they're yellow?
Apart from bananas, can deal with bananas. I just.
that's odd.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but I guess it's not necessarily the colour. I think it's more like, again, I think it's just like, I think it's a fads thing that I like to be angry about, and I worry that if I tried it and liked it, I'd be like, oh, I'm going to keep drinking this, and I'd become the person I don't like.
Yeah.
Because, like, I know what started it in this country.
What?
Every fucker on Bake Off was putting it in a cake. Every single motherfucker on Bake Off was putting matcha in a cake, and then suddenly everyone was like, oh, we've got to drink matcha now.
Yeah.
That's how it started. But same with like beers, I think like sometimes I think people are. I think it's faddy, and I think it's like, also they've got the worst names. Craft beers.
Oh no, I love it.
Well, I don't want a pint of otter's piss.
Yeah.
That's not. That's not. But that's the equivalent of what it is.
Yeah.
Like, it's like I just don't get it. It's like almost on a level with like my TikTok algorithm at the minute is like burger restaurants that name their burgers the most ludicrous things, like the most awful, and they're always like really sexually charged, awful names. It's like it's just a cheeseburger, but they're calling it like the dirty. It's like
Yeah.
really awful. Like,
Have you heard of Slap and Pickle?
yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's a great example. They're literally called Slap and Pickle.
Yeah. It's not the
fun, though,
dirty slap.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
really
and I used to gobble that tomorrow when I lived in Leeds. Here's the thing about Slap and Pickle. I thought that it was like one of those, well, much like a craft beer. Like I'm sure people when they first tried Brewdog and they're like, oh, this is really quirky, and then they're like, no, it's literally, it was a bit like that. And then I found out that it was like a chain, and I was like, oh fuck, not supporting local business at all.
I remember going into. I was in a bar in Bristol. And it was very, very hipster, like the type of place where you've got the beers on a chalkboard at the back.
Oh yeah.
corrugated iron everywhere.
Yeah.
Every bar in Hoxford.
And this guy walks in and he says, he looks at all the things at the back and he goes, do you have any Fosters? And the barman behind, like the barman was really nice, and he was like, no, but we do have this lager. I'll let you try some if you want. And he was not having any of it. He just walked out.
Why are you?
Oh, grow up.
That's the.
Was he wearing a vest?
Like,
I can't remember. It was a bit pissed.
Well, the kind of point was like, just take that's pretentious either way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like somewhere in the middle. Absolutely fine with that.
Yeah, because it's like just go to where like you know what you know. You know.
There's plenty of like my taste in like beers or craft beers is often like the fruity ones.
Oh yeah, of course it is.
What can I say? I have a brand I stick to.
I do like a craft beer, obviously.
Yeah, of course you fucking do.
You'd like a Radler. Have you tried a Radler?
I don't know what that is.
It's simply put, it's like a cloudy lemonade with beer, which sounds a bit shit, but it's pretty good. It tastes like kind of like a cider if a cider was beer. If that makes sense.
2 weeks ago, you came and saw me at the Edinburgh Fringe, and afterwards, you watched me drink a pint of Pimm's and lemonade.
I did, yeah. A pint, yeah.
It was my second ever sellout, and so I was like, I'm going big. And I had a pint of Pimm's and lemonade. While you just watched me like, you okay there?
Yeah.
I'm sort of either end of the spectrum. Like most of the time, I'll just have a couple of beers, and then sometimes I'm like, I'm gonna have a pint of Pimm's. Actually, that's what I want.
God, I can't wait to drink next year.
Holly's doing a year sober.
Really?
I cannot believe you stuck for it for this long.
I know, and do you know what? It
I
hasn't.
did 2 months this year, and I was like, that's enough.
It hasn't been difficult. Like at first, I was like, "Oh, this is a bit rough," but there are so many alternatives out there, which sounds so wanky, and it is. But like, it got to the point where I don't really know what alcohol tastes like anymore, which also sounds ridiculous, but I don't. So now when I drink like a non-alcoholic wine or something like that, honestly, it gives you like this placebo of like, because I don't go out to get like pissed anymore. I did a lot of that when I was younger, but like, it's more just like this, I don't know, relaxation type of thing.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I'm currently not drinking because I've had some digestive issues.
Oh wow.
Nice.
Sorry to hear that.
Exclusive news for the pod.
I really want to go into details. No. So I've not been drinking for like 3 weeks.
Yeah? How are you finding it?
I'm not having caffeine either, which is the worst one.
Ooh,
Yeah, that's worse.
So I've been having decaf coffee or non-alcoholic beers, which is fine.
Yeah.
It gives you the experience.
I think there are plenty of like, we're past the point where there used to be no non-alcoholic alternatives were good. We're now at a point where there are still some really bad ones. Shout out non-alcoholic Madry, the worst non-alcoholic lager of all time. It's so bad, and they charge about £9 for it. But there are so many like genuinely really good ones.
Non-alcoholic Guinness.
Yeah, I hear people talk about that all the time.
Unbelievable.
The one I really don't get is there's a huge market for non-alcoholic gin at the minute.
There is,
right.
Yeah.
That is squash. That's what that is. Let's stop pretending that that's...
But it tastes like gin.
Does it?
It literally does, yeah.
I mean, I don't like gin, so.
Yeah,
Makes
well,
me
gym
cry.
makes me fucking crazy.
Yeah, it makes me cry. It's
Yeah.
so bad.
It's weird, isn't it? How
I
much
have a
of
whole
a reaction it
5-minute bit
has.
about how I don't like gin.
Really?
I've started going to like sober. My friends are. I still got a couple of friends who are like really into like if we're on a night out, it always ends in specific clubs. Like we'll go to this club. I'm not. I've never really been massively into that. They're still like it. So, but the experience of going to a club sober is like I thought. It was gonna, but here's the thing. I thought it was going to be really awful. It's not that bad. It's genuinely not that bad, but it is a bit. You see so much that you don't see otherwise. You really see behind the curtains of how stuff is produced, and you're like, oh, this is why it's better to be shit-faced. But it's genuinely not. It's not that bad. I think that was my biggest fear, was like going out socially and not drinking would be like, oh, how am I going to be able to integrate into this? But it was all right.
I was once so drunk in like one of those like bar/clubs. It's like not quite a club, but it's a bar, like a rowdy bar, that I had a 5-minute argument with my friend because I was like, we need to go into that bit, and she was like, Hollie, that's literally a mirror.
So good.
Amazing.
That is so good.
That really pissed me off, actually. I was like, that room over there looks so fucking
I had a
good.
similar thing recently where I had a few drinks because it was just before I went to Fringe. I'd done a work in progress show in Leeds, and my brother came, and so we went for a few drinks afterwards. I'll tell a couple of stories about my brother on stage, and my brother was like, we were both drunk. My brother quite sincerely went, "Can you please stop using my first name on stage?" He was like, quite sincerely, and I said, "It's fine. I don't say your last name." And he went, "I'm your brother." Genuinely. I was like, oh, that's the level we were at that point after I got back into drinking. So yeah.
I need to ask you the second question because these are the only format points that we have, and
then we
people
go,
get really upset if we don't. Goofy identifies sexually.
The character from Disney.
Yeah, the Disney
I was gonna say
character.
the
These
dog.
are all Disney characters.
Okay.
Yeah, see, he is a dog.
I was going to say dog, and I was like, is he a dog though?
Is he? Because Pluto's a dog.
Yeah, Goofy's a dog.
So Goofy the dog walks the other dog.
I don't even know what species he identifies as.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty difficult actually to come up with something for this. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a fucking dog.
Okay, fine. I mean, if he's a dog, then he must.
He's a fucking dog.
He's described.
Fucking Hollie was from downtown Chicago.
He's a fucking dog.
It's unbelievable.
He is a tall, and then a word that
Anthropomorphic?
Yes,
That's
that's exactly what it is.
God.
Not only did you say that right, but you also guessed what it said somehow. What does that
It
mean?
means like in the form of a man.
Oh, right, okay.
Oh.
Dog, who typically wears a turtleneck and vest with pants, shoes, white gloves, and a tall hat, originally designed as a
turtleneck, come on.
rumpled,
That's all we need to know.
rumpled fedora. Do you know what?
Fedora. I didn't realise he wore a fedora.
As a rumpled fedora, what does that mean?
Rumpled fedora isn't it
the hat.
craft beer, I think.
So, looking at this
70%
now,
is a rumpled
there
fedora.
is something about Goofy that looks like Jack McLean.
Ah.
I can't explain
To
that.
people on the pod who listen who may not know Jack McLean. Jack McLean is a fantastic Northern comic. He's a very tall man.
Don't you think there's something about it that looks like Jack McLean?
Like Goofy. There's no actually.
He really does. Look.
Christ.
It's not the teeth. Jack's got nice teeth, but
if I'd said Goofy was my tour support, I would have sold way more tickets. I'd just done that, man.
there is just something about it. Anyway, Goofy.
Yeah, I'd say some maybe kind of like closeted bisexual.
Okay.
Yeah, I get that
Nice. Like that.
energy.
Yeah, just a turtleneck. But
Yeah, it's
unafraid to
purely the
commit.
turtleneck.
He's the kind of
Anthropomorphic.
like, if Goofy did stand up, he'd get a review where it was like, he's just so quirky. Like that's
Yeah.
the vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which shows he is 100% bisexual because that's how
Yeah.
reviewers say bisexual.
Just quirky.
Your topic is Doctor Who.
Yes.
Oh god, this is where I switch off.
We've got a lot of work to do. So all I would say is I've watched a lot of Doctor Who. I think I've watched all the episodes of The Modern Day.
Oh, of course you
Doctor Who.
fucking have.
Right? Because, well, it came back in 2005 when I was a child.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Right?
What was that
I
noise?
was 21.
Holy fucking shit!
So it came out in 2005. Came back in 2005.
You were 21 in 2005.
I'm 41 now.
Give up.
Yeah. Am I too old for the podcast? Is that
Yeah.
No.
is that what's going on?
No, Hollie's allowed here, so it's fine.
That wasn't nice, was it? Alex is still a child.
I'm 25 next week.
Oh.
Yeah. Hollie won't come to my birthday. So.
Oh, right. Oh, he's bringing this up on the pod. I have not said no to this birthday party, but it also is my fiance's birthday.
Well, you got to decide who you love more.
Yeah. I know who gives me orgasms. You.
Yeah, and I really wish I didn't have to do that.
It's part of the podcast experience.
I'm frankly disappointed we wrote that into the contract. Anyway, so Dudley came back in 2005. So my mum was like, when she was a kid, was the originals, right? So she was like, got me into watching it then, and then I sort of stayed watching it, and it was just like that classic Saturday night thing. That's what it was in my house, and I think that's what it was for a lot of people. What is it for you about Doctor Who that, like, initially? Because we'll go into, because there's so much deep stuff in terms of talk about, like, actually Doctor Who is such a wider stance than just, it's not just a TV show in terms of actually its impact on societal and political strokes is like proven. It's absolutely wild. What it's done.
To me, it's the escapism of being able to dream something that is bigger than you know, and go places and see things. And
I think even now when I watch it, it's like I still think there's a little connection to that inner child, where it's like it's exciting and fun and these ideas that you could never have thought of. And so I think that's for me a lot why I've watched it. The more recent evidences of it is because it's like, oh, it just reminds me of being a kid.
Yeah.
On the sofa on a Saturday night in my mum and dad's house. So it's like it's that kind of thing that I like about it now. Who's your favourite Doctor of all time?
Matt Smith.
Oh, that's a rogue choice. Well, it's not a rogue choice, but it's not. No, but we all know it's not the most popular one.
No, it's not.
No, we all know who the most popular one is.
Don't look at me.
I can't believe it. I thought it was fairly obvious. David Tennant's the most popular.
Oh yeah, of course. Right? Yeah, I didn't know that.
So who's your favourite?
It's just probably Tennant. I genuinely think. I think the most underrated of all time is the most recent one, Shoot You Get One. I think he's the most underrated. I think he came in at a pretty rough time, in terms of the show hadn't been doing well, and then in the current political climate, he was always going to get a lot of abuse for being first black Doctor, first gay Doctor, after the first female Doctor.
Yeah.
He was going to get a lot of abuse for that.
Yeah.
Right, and so I think he came in at a particularly tough time. I'm really disappointed he's gone after only 2. Traditionally, they do 3 series then leave. He's only done 2, and I feel like he's sort of been pushed out by not through any fault of his own. And I think ultimately, I would imagine in 10 years' time he'll be doing interviews about how much he hated the experience. And I genuinely find that gutting. I think that probably will be the case. Like Christopher Eccleston does now. He comes out and talks about how he hated the experience.
I've mixed feelings about him, about how he had his time.
I don't think the issue. No one really knows what unfolded.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
The thing with Shooty coming in was like it was a very exciting appointment with someone much younger, first black Doctor, first gay Doctor, but timing wise it was probably the most important time to do it in terms of political landscape, but it was also the most risky time to do it. And I just don't think that helped anybody really, and I think that caused a lot of issues. My favourite thing about it though was that it really pissed off Lawrence Fox. If you don't know, Lawrence Fox is used to be a charming Sunday night detective actor. Basically, that's all he did. He did Sunday night detective. Light-hearted, typical posh bloke. Yeah, he's related to Amelia Fox. I don't know what the relation actually is. If they're brother and sister or something like that. I don't know. She's a very famous actor and a sane individual. Lawrence is. How would you describe Lawrence Fox other than a complete waste of human skin? He's an awful man. He's deeply... he ran for London Mayor and failed dramatically. He's very racist.
It makes Nigel Farage look quite moderate.
Oh, okay.
He's sort of like the love child. Well, I think he thinks he's Andrew Tate, but he's not. That's the kind of vibe.
He thinks he's edgy, but he's very posh.
But he's a posh guy with loads of fucking money. Yeah. You can sort of he's just like, I do what I want. But he used to be married to Billie Piper. He had kids with Billie Piper, they got divorced, and when Jodie Whittaker became a doctor, she was the first female doctor. Lawrence talked about a huge tirade. After she left, Ncuti Gatwa became a doctor, so we went from the first female doctor to the first black gay doctor. Lawrence Fox was also fuming. After Ncuti Gatwa's now left, it's now believed that Billy Piper will be the next doctor. So Lawrence Fox was angry when the doctor was a woman. He was angry when the doctor was gay. Imagine how angry he's going to be when the doctor won't let him see his kids. That is absolutely insane.
Do you think she is going to be the next doctor though? Because I don't think so.
I think it's a desperate plot to try and revive the show,
Yeah.
and I don't think it's ever going to get.
I agree.
So, like back in 2010 to 2013. Biggest show on the BBC,
Yeah.
other than the news, right? It's like the biggest show on the BBC is massive. Its influence was insane. It was a worldwide phenomenon, and then it's slowly been sort of declining. And in the last 5 years, it's struggling. Like it's not profitable anymore. And so it was really difficult with it. It has a huge like I like the show. I wouldn't describe myself as like a fan of the show because people who describe themselves as fans of the show are fucking fans of the show. Like they are intensely into it.
Is that you?
I will never not like Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care who's, well, okay, yeah. I mean, if they put Lawrence Fox in there.
Yeah, that's something that like, it's not just Lawrence Fox.
It'd be hard to watch. But, I just think Ncuti Gatwa was fantastic. Some of the stories were fantastic. Some of the way they filmed it was fantastic. They just wasted the opportunity, I think. They wasted what could have happened with that character. And they tried to do too much, and I think it was Russell T Davies was just too obsessed with kind of one, making a point about stuff, and two, bringing back some of the old stuff.
Yeah,
it's like just write a new series. Like
that's what
you're making it too complicated.
And this was so they keep trying to bring back their tactic over the last 2 years has been like we'll just keep bringing back old stuff.
Yeah.
So David Tennant came back and did 3 episodes that were...
Which was okay.
They were fun, but felt pointless.
Why was David Tennant the most famous?
He was at his peak time. So he was like... So it came back in 2005. Chris Eccleston did a series and then left, and there was a big fallout. No one quite knows what happened. A couple of years later, they come back to series 2. David Tennant's Doctor. And he did it for 3 and a bit series over like 5 years and was like loved immensely. So he did it between like 2007 and like 2011. Maybe a bit.
But I think as well, like all the mums love him. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
It's like Dermot O'Leary, but
Yeah.
Dermot O'Leary is the Doctor.
He was like, he did such a like he did a great job of it. And again, in terms of a character, but people like the show come back for 1 year with Chris Rock, and then he'd left, and people were like, oh, is this actually coming back or not? Like, was it just a one-off thing? And so he did a really good job with it. But so he was like the most famous one, and he did a good job of it. And so he was like the most famous one. Then like Matt Smith came in again. It was still very popular, but then they sort of changed the writers, and then people sort of fall out of love with it and stuff. And it's just gradually come for lots of different reasons. Again, it's always been a show that has taken the context of the time it's being released at its like heart. Like you look at some of the most recent episodes of it, they've done episodes where like subliminally it's about an issue that's going on in the world today. So they did one where they talked about like where they talked about plight of racism in America. They did one with Jodie Whittaker where they were back in time. There was a episode about following Rosa Parks, right? So they've always done things that are like on the edge where it is going to divide people. People are going to be upset with it, and so. But again, in a climate now where social media is rife and people can happily go on and go, oh, it's just all too woke now. It's all too woke. It never used to be this woke. Actually, if you look back long enough, I mean, they've always done this thing where they've had the context of the time. But right now, in a world where people will use free speech to be racist, it's like people feel they're all to be a big. It's not done as well. But their tactic for trying to revive it has been to bring back old stuff, and which just doesn't work. They're just trying to like live off nostalgia, and you can't do that for very long. So it's quite scary. Which is hence why like Billy Piper is apparently back. Billy Piper was in it years ago as a different character, right? So it's just a weird it's a weird situation. And again, what I was saying was like it's weird because people love it. Like people are absolutely like it's people's lives.
Yeah.
And it's when you see something you love sort of slowly dying is what it feels like a bit, or something you love slowly sort of. Or just not being what you want it to be anymore.
Yeah, but I don't think I disagree. Like, I don't think it is slowly dying. I think it is still the same show with the same heart. I think they just messed it about a bit with Shooter Gatwa, and I think we rewatched Peter Capaldi's series, which at the time I liked, but it was a lot darker than the other series. But when we rewatched it, we realised the acting is incredible, the storylines are incredible. My favourite episode actually is a Peter Capaldi one, where he's locked in a castle and there's just him and no other characters. It's unbelievable. Like, such a good episode.
I just think like it's like, you know, and also now because of things like social media, we're fed, you know, we can access news and behind the and gossip and stuff all the time, that we're being fed the gossip that like it's making no money. They signed a 2-year deal with Disney. The 2-year deal's ended and Disney are like, that was a complete waste of our fucking time, we want weird. And again, whether that's true or not, but it's what we're being fed. But it's not great to see that when it's something you truly love, when you're watching it not do as well as you want it to.
I was worried when Disney got involved, they might try and fold it into the Marvel universe.
And
I was like,
that would be crazy.
Like,
but it is like the big thing with it is like like I say, it's the way it tackles sort of current issues and things. And that was one of the big things about when they got Ncuti Gatwa in, first Black Doctor, first gay actor to play the Doctor, and they really led into that. They really did. So it was like one of these ones that was kind of, they've always tried to deal with like current issues, because didn't they had a like almost like a trans-based storyline recently, where it was like, but it was like the subliminal text of it was like, it was about the whole trans debate at the minute, and it's again like really cleverly done, really great to do it, but my god did it get some backlash, like, and that's the kind of thing where it's like, it's again, and that's where I feel like people at the top are putting people in quite dangerous scenarios in terms of people who work on that show, whether it's crew or actors. Ncuti Gatwa, like, I think Gatwa was put into quite a unpleasant and nasty position where he had to cope with a lot of shit, a lot of abuse, a lot of nasty things that happened. And I just think, and again, that's why I think in 10 years' time he'll probably walk away from it, and in 10 years' time we'll start hearing stories about, it wasn't a great experience, didn't enjoy it, which is also part of the reason I think people love it, is because you hear people who've played the Doctor, you hear people who've been on that show and go, oh, we loved doing it, it was so much fun, and when you feel that, that's when it's like, oh, this is really cool. And so when you get what I expect to happen in terms of Gatwa coming out and going, I didn't really enjoy it, I think it's one of these things that's kind of that could also kind of mar it for a few people. I don't know. That's what I think for me. I'm not like, I hate to say, like, I'm not a big fan of the show. I've watched all of it since it came back in 2005. But like, for me, it's never been something I've been like totally like completely obsessed with. You know what I mean? Because like Doctor Who fans are like Harry Potter fans.
Intense.
In terms of it is a fucking way of life, and it's like a fucking religion to these people.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because I don't get adult Harry Potter fans. I talk quite openly about it. I think adult Harry Potter fans need to sort themselves out.
I've never seen a Harry Potter. I've never read a Harry Potter.
The issue is adult Doctor Who fans, it's a similar vibe. It's a similar vibe.
What about 41-year-olds?
I see the similar vibe. I definitely
it's when you like, when you're on the train, you get to King's Cross and there are people queuing to look at a wall, to have a picture taken with a wall. And it's like,
that is disturbing.
come on, babes. And also like, you can take a picture, you can take a selfie with the walls in the background from over there, and you don't have to queue up for an hour to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't get it.
Yeah.
People who are like,
especially when
I'm a Hufflepuff. No, you're 33 and you work in HR, Darren.
Yeah.
Sort yourself out. Like, it's like, you know what I mean?
I'm a Hufflepuff.
Yeah. Really, well,
Is that how you identify?
I dropped the Huffle.
Fuck the Huffle.
Fuck the Huffle. But I think like it's like I say, it's certainly like people are obsessed with it, and I think what it's done in terms of raising awareness for certain things has been really important. And also they've had queer characters on it before. Talked about Peter Capaldi's series. There was a companion who was in a lesbian relationship as part of the show.
Yeah, Bill was a lesbian.
Yeah,
and then they had Jack Harkness played by John Barrowman, who was was the character bisexual, I think, or maybe no, I mean pansexual because he had relationships with aliens. So you know.
Okay, that's different.
And what's the most recent one? Oh, who's the guy who's in Hamilton? Played the king in Hamilton. Goff. What's his name? Played the king in Hamilton. He came in Gatwa's series as Shooty Gatwa's love interest. Rogue.
You mean
somebody Goff?
It's Jonathan Goff.
Jonathan Goff. That's it. He was in it as well. Yeah. So again, they've always actually, I would say, been at the forefront of giving queer actors roles as queer characters.
Definitely.
Like, and that's really because again, a lot of the time, especially like when you go back to like 2010 and stuff, you think like queer characters a lot of the time weren't being played by queer actors.
Yeah.
Like, and if they were always the funny side character rather than a character with any kind of story or any kind of arc or any personality.
Yeah.
For me, I hate it when, like, in a TV show or film where the queer character is only there because the storyline is about them being queer. Like, I love it when there's a queer character that just happens to be queer in the and you know, it's not the big focus. It's a part of the storyline, but it's not the only thing that they are there for.
Yeah,
like, that's brilliant.
And I like also what I said. That's like again as a, you know, I do bits of acting now, and again a lot of the roles I'm given are either that where it's a queer person struggling with being queer, or it's a disabled person struggling with being disabled, and it's like, you know. And I was chatting to someone recently. She's a fantastic actress with Down syndrome, and I was chatting to her, and just came up with like, okay, what's the dream role? Like, what would be the great role for you to play? What would be a really cool role? And she went, just like a shopkeeper. I was like, what are you talking about? And she was purely like, well, just because I just like to be a normal, and just like to be seen as a normal role. Yeah, like I don't want to be a disabled person battling with the fact I'm disabled. Yeah. In the same way, I don't want to always play a queer character who's battling with being queer.
Yeah.
I'd rather just be a person going about their life.
Yeah.
And seen as that.
It is really weird, that, isn't it? How it's like such a focus.
Yeah.
Of like, there's this thing and it's drama.
Because sadness and tragedy in inverted commas gets viewers.
Yeah.
And then, but people always associate. And again, I'm talking about this a lot in terms of like queer circles, right? In terms of we are always, and again, it's the same with all the characters we play. We are either seen as, and the same with like queer culture in general, is either, isn't it sad? Haven't they been through so much? Isn't it? It's still really hard to be queer, which still is fucking hard to be queer, right? I'm not going to deny that, right? Or it's the other end where it's like, it's fucking RuPaul, and it's like, life's great and everything's fabulous, and like, oh my god, glitter! Like, it's like that, and it's like, can I not just be in the happy middle ground where it's like, you know, I'm just living my life, like, can I not just have that? Why do I have to either be? Why do I either have to be miserable or
fabulous?
Fucking fabulous. And exactly, fabulous is the perfect word, but why do I have to be one of those two things? Why can't I be in the middle? Why is that not allowed?
100%.
And that's like kind of what annoys me.
There was an American sitcom a few years ago called Happy Endings. Have you seen that?
I have not, but
it's not about
Hollie's jumped, hasn't she?
I've seen many videos called that, but it wasn't.
She has to put her ID in now to watch them as well tonight.
But there was a gay character in that was just like, it was kind of like Friends, where it's just a group of friends, you know what I mean? And one of the characters was gay, and it was the first time really that I'd seen like just one of the characters is gay. That's not the point of it. And like, he had his own storylines and stuff, but
but it's not main focus. And
it was great. I loved it.
It is nice, isn't it? Yeah. I think that's the thing when people are putting people in there, and it's like, it's so frustrating because we're like, we really want you to do this, and then they're like, all right, we'll do it. Just tick that box. But it has to fit this. And it's like,
and I'm not gonna lie to you. In terms of diversity and inclusion forms, I tick a lot of boxes, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes you're like, for fuck's sake, I'm only here because of that. But sometimes you go, I'm gonna get that job. Again, I talk about with the disability all the time. Like with my disability, like, am I regularly going to bring up I'm disabled? No. If I'm on a first date, probably not going to bring up I'm disabled. Job interview with the BBC. Yeah, I'm fucking disabled. You know what I mean? And I feel the same with like, I don't want to just get an acting role because I'm disabled because I'm queer. I don't want to just get a role because I'm queer. And a lot of the roles I get offered are the funny queer character, like the quirky. And I'm like, fucking. And again, it's because I'm a comedian. That's like primarily my job. So of course I'll get the comedy roles, which is what I want. Like they're the best roles to play, right? Because often limited lines, funnish scenes, same amount of money. So I'm like, great, I'll do it. Right? But I don't necessarily always want a role because I'm queer. I don't think that's like, because even when you're there, sometimes you're like, oh, you can feel it, and like, I mean, sometimes people openly say it to you. I've had 3 promoters say to me that I'm only there because I'm gay or only there because I'm disabled. One of them joked I was only there because it meant if I was there, they didn't have to book a woman.
What?
Yeah, and that guy runs a lot of fucking gigs. But yeah, no, it's like those, that genuinely has happened where people have said those things to me, and it's like, great, I'm here because I take a box. Yeah, that's all I'm here.
Yeah.
I joke about it a lot now. Again, a lot of the jokes I do, I will joke in a way that is like as if I'm going to do something for that. Like, you know, I do joke a bit about, you know, like, being pansexual is amazing. Pansexual is great, right? Because being pansexual is like, you know, I think there are so many. I think women are beautiful. There's so many incredible women. I think that's amazing. Dating men, amazing because men earn money. Dating transgender people, excellent for Instagram. It's like, and I say to God, like, dating transgender people, like, I am one box tick away from a Netflix special. If that's what I've got to do, I'm willing to make it happen. Like, it's sort of like, but it does often feel like that, where it's like you can be as good as you want to be, but I will still always be viewed as he's only because he's disabled, not he's here because he's a good comic, or he's here because he's a good actor. And as I said, like shows like Doctor Who have always been at the forefront of giving disabled actors or queer actors, female actors, more opportunities in roles where the role isn't just about them being queer, female or disabled. Like it's about who they are. It's about who the character is, and it's actually the character's got a story and they've got a purpose. They're not just there to make up the numbers. And that's the really good thing about the show. And that's for me is the sad thing with the show being on a bit of a decline, is it feels like it's one of the few good ones left in terms of what they do outside of the show and the reach outside of the show. It's not just the show, it offers a lot more. I think it's particularly as a kid watching it, so it came back in 2005, like 5, 6, 7, and it's like, oh, like it's you watch that and you go, you know, you're seeing female actors like more than just 2 in a show. And also, like, as a kid watching it and there being queer actors on it, you're like, oh, okay, cool. But also just as a, like, kid who grew up in, like, you know, from a working class background, you're able to watch that. And again, it felt like, oh, maybe, like, things like acting is actually accessible to me. That's probably when I was a bit, I was in my teens watching the show. You'd be like, oh, maybe actually acting is something that is accessible to me. Because, again, they, you know, used a lot of working class actors, or actors who come from working class backgrounds. So again, it just became like, oh, maybe this is an option for me. Maybe this is like something that I could do, rather than previously being seen as something that was just like, well, I'm never going to be able to do that.
Yeah, well, I mean, they used to hear northern accents in it, and you don't hear many northern accents.
That's crazy. Yeah, you're completely right.
One of the things that annoys me is when you're watching, like it's great to get diversity on television, like, don't get me wrong, but one of the things you don't see very often in diversity terms is different accents. And if you watch QI or Mock the Week or any of those panel shows, they're all southern. I think sometimes people don't understand someone if they can't put them in a box.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, unless they see you being fabulous, then, well, you can't be gay because you're not acting fabulous. So I don't know what box to put you in. Like,
I get that 100%.
Yeah. I've found that, like, doing certain gigs, and, like, if I'm dressing more feminine and then say that I'm gay, then there's some very confused faces. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I did a gig with a female comedian who's a lesbian who has really long blonde hair, right? And
was it me?
No, it wasn't. But I was going to say like yourself. There's really long blonde hair, and there was a drunk woman in the audience who sort of stood next to me. I'd gone out to watch them, and they were really good. And she said she was a lesbian. And this woman went to me, she went, she's gay. She's lesbian. I went, yeah. And she went, she's lied to us. I went, what do you mean? She went, she's lied to us with her hair, which is the funniest.
Was it an audience member?
Yeah, which is the funniest sentence I've ever heard in my life. She's lied to us with her hair. That's absolutely hilarious.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I was like, sorry. She left her clippers backstage. Like, what are you talking about? Crazy,
yeah, there's just the stereotypes, isn't there? But I will say, this is kind of off topic. Some of what I think isn't talked about loads, like lesbians who are in the crowd, or like bi women who are in the crowd. When you're a lesbian on stage, they do get like, I think they are like some of the horniest people that I've ever met. Like I talk openly about being engaged and stuff on stage, but I still get people DMing, like lesbians DMing me quite frequently. Not in a braggy way, just like they do. I think lesbians are very can be quite intense in that sense.
I just get drunk mums coming up to me going, "You don't look gay."
No.
Cheers. Go back to your third bottle of rosé. Yes, that's what I get all the time anyway. But like I say, I think it's really important that we sort of said like those roles and that sense of representation is so important. That it's so important that we see queer people on telly, but it's important that we see queer people on telly in a way that's not just they're there because they're queer. Like it's there because they're queer, but they're normal people, and that's fine, and that's safe, and no one should be scared. No one should be tearing down flags. No one should be putting up flags. There's no need to do that. And I think that's the what Doctor Who has always been really good at. That's the importance of it.
And they've always done it. Like I remember there was an early episode with David Tennant where he went to New Earth. And like there was a couple in one of the cars that was like two really old women, and they were a lesbian couple. Like there was no need to make that a lesbian couple, but they did, and it was a very like short scene. Yeah. But as a kid, well, no, I wasn't a kid. I was like 23, something like that. Yeah. I was like, that's amazing. You know, like they didn't actually do that, but they did.
Yeah. It just is because because people exist. Yeah.
Exactly. I think that's a really lovely place to end.
Oh.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for coming on, James. We really, really do appreciate it. Where can people find you?
On my Instagram at Earl of Beverley. That's sorry, it's my whole accent. Right. Earl EARL of Beverley.
Wonderful stuff. Thank you to you at home for listening. Please follow the podcast, rate us, leave a comment, review. All of that stuff would be lovely. Follow the podcast online. You can follow me and Hollie online as well. I'm about to do a load of shows across UK comedy festivals, and you can find all the information of that from my social media as well. That'd be great. I could do with your money. Hollie, you got anything to plug?
I'm getting married next year, so I'm just really focused on that at the minute. But,
I mean, you invite people to the wedding.
No, do not come to my wedding. Don't come to my wedding.
The invite on my social media.
Don't come to my wedding. Don't follow me. Don't message me. Fucking leave me alone.
Thank you at home for listening. This has been the Queers On podcast. We'll see you again next week. Bye.
Bye.
This episode of the Queers On podcast was produced in association with Unmasked Neurodiversity Network, an incredible charity in Leeds aiming to provide unwavering support and guidance to individuals within the community. To donate or find out more, visit unmaskednn.co.uk.